Hi, I'm Amanda Riedling. I'm one of the owners and partners of the Georgia Wills Trust and Probate Firm in Marietta, Georgia. Our mission is to help prevent the death of a loved one from becoming the death of a family. To that end, I wanted to make a video describing the benefits of hiring an attorney to do your estate plan versus doing it yourself or utilizing a form online. I also want to talk about why it's important to be careful when you are choosing that attorney to provide these services for you. Part of the answer is to understand that doing your will is a service, not a product. If you're buying an estate plan from a store or online, all you're doing is buying a product. That product is going to likely be bare bones, generic, and not state specific. You may ask yourself, why does that matter? It matters tremendously. Every state has its own laws governing the formalities of signing these documents and what makes them valid, the laws governing the use of those documents and when they're enforceable, and the laws governing what language is sufficient to go in those documents to make them easier, cheaper, and quicker to use for your loved one taking care of these things for you. Remember, when someone eventually has to use these documents, you aren't around or you're incapacitated. It's too late to fix any issues that may reveal themselves at that time. If your will does not comply with state law, or if it doesn't have the tools embedded in it to make using the document possible or easy, then you've done your loved one a disservice. For example, in Georgia, if your document does not state that your executor can do certain things, then they have to go and get a court order every time they want to do those things or to do those things in bulk. On the flip side, in Georgia, if your will or other estate plan does not state that your executor or agent does not have to do certain things, then you may be tasking them with additional things that otherwise wouldn't be necessary. This all increase the cost, the time, and the stress on, like I said, the loved one that is doing this for you. This is where an experienced attorney is going to come in, and they need to be experienced in your state and familiar with your local court system. That's going to add imperative value to this whole process. So for the second layer of this question, what kind of attorney should you hire? You want an attorney who didn't just start doing wills at the beginning of the pandemic or in the pandemic. It was a growing field then. It was easy for people to enter that practice area. You want an attorney who has years of experience in doing estate planning work, but also probate work and adult guardianship work. You want someone who has experience in helping clients actually implement the documents and be able to advise them on what actually happens. What do my agents have to do? How does this all work? So not only can that attorney be there for them if that time comes to implement the documents, but they can also be better at drafting the language to help avoid pitfalls on the implementation side that they see in their probate and adult guardianship practice. For example, if the attorney can't accurately tell you who your heirs are, not to be confused with who your beneficiaries are, heirs are the persons that are entitled to notice of your probate, even if you've disinherited them. If your attorney doesn't know how to tell you who those people would be, how can they advise you about the logistics of that process or possibly how to avoid dealing with them altogether? I say all this to say that having a well-advised estate plan put together with the advice and assistance of an experienced estate planning and probate lawyer is a huge step in the right direction to helping prevent your death or disability from becoming a huge burden on your loved ones. At the Georgia Wills Trust and Probate Firm, we have decades of experience in estate planning, in probate, and in adult guardianship. I made this video because of the heartbreak that I see in my probate practice with my probate clients and my adult guardianship clients when their families did no planning, their own planning, or bad planning. My goal is to educate people that there are pitfalls in drafting these documents. They can create difficulties and huge expense. If you're not an attorney experienced in these areas of law, then you don't know what you don't know. I encourage you to at least talk to an experienced attorney in these areas before you decide to proceed with your estate plan. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Amanda Riedling, and I hope this was helpful.